mess all on the crop. Come on, how do you miss that fish? Hey, a smallie. Yeah, smallie. Looks to be a keeper. That'll do, donkey. That'll do.
What's up? Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Hey, Rob, could you hear me? No. Did I bring my headphones? Yes, I did. Nice. Oh, there's a kayak. Shallow. Yeah, I swam out here around this rock jetty with goggles. Oh, see a fish though. What's up, Rob? Could you hear me?
Hey, what's up, bro?
So you just caught that 16 and a half. Pretty good.
Yeah, man. Went back up in there and broke off on one bigger.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, my braid separated at the knot.
Catching smallmouth.
Apparently, I got a little school of smallies right here. Where I'm at, I wouldn't have thought they'd be smallmouth. But I have not fished clean so far, man.
It looks tough out there. I mean, judging from the slow pace so far. Couple this morning, but nothing now. Like I said, I'm out here we're actually on Ontario right now, out of the boat, trying to get on a couple big smallmouth.
Anytime I can catch a smallie, man, I'm happy.
Yeah. Well, you've been staying up in Connecticut, right?
Yeah.
So you should be on a couple up there.
A couple is right. That's all I've been able to catch. There's two.
Go to Candlewood yet?
Yeah, I went to Candlewood, but the day I went was not conducive to fishing. It was like 20 mile per hour wind sustained with like gusts of 30 plus.
Yeah, that lake gets surprisingly big. I mean, we had a game up there this year, and it was blowing like 30, and there were some big waves out there.
Yeah, and then I was completely caught off guard by the boat traffic.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it was bad. I had wake boats on both sides passing me at like 20 feet. And I don't have much time in this kayak that I'm in.
Yeah.
So it was
What
got
kayak are
dicey.
you in?
Out of P127.
Oh, okay.
I just haven't taken it out much.
Yeah.
I love my 120, my SS so much that I don't take this one out.
Right. I gotta figure out. I have my AirPod connected to my ear. I don't know why it's not. I don't know why the sound's not coming out of it.
Pretty sure I'm about to get another one finally rigged back up.
Another 127.
No, another fish.
Oh.
Finally rigged back up and back on where the school was.
No, I think someone else is in here. Nate Hall, add to stream. What's up, Nate?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good. How about you?
What's going on, Nate?
Yeah. You got the. I have the remote for the phone. You're in here. Yeah. No, I'll sit here. If I have to move it, I'll move it.
I don't think. Hey, I'm gonna leave the cooler here. There's drinks here.
All right, cool. Yeah, I might hop out in a little bit, but see what's what.
How often does that happen?
What happened?
Threw back into the hole and I snagged my line and got my lure back.
Oh, you got your old lure back that you broke off?
Yeah.
There's one spot I used to fish up in. Well, I still fish there. It's like a small little local lake, and I would be throwing like a lipless crankbait, at this one specific piece of structure, and I snagged. A year later, I pulled up my old lipless that I broke off.
Was it still good? Did you change the hooks and use it?
Yeah, I changed the hooks. I still use it. Yep, it's
Nice.
all beat up. Wish my audio would come through my headset here. I don't know why it's not.
I think they moved on me.
Oh, there we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yep. Through my headset now.
God damn it.
Oh, there you go. Oh.
You have the lanyard?
With the yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, I didn't have.
Looked like the fishing was tough this week across the league. A lot of guys didn't get bags. A lot of teams had like smaller limits.
Yeah. How are you guys doing out here?
What's that?
I said, how are your guys doing out here?
I think they have like 45, and they only have 3 fish so far.
Yeah, I mean, the bite seems to be picking up a little bit, but it's been pretty slow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's surprising. Nate did a little bit of pre-fishing, and he said he was catching like a bunch of smaller fish, but like I didn't think a limit was going to be the struggle. But I mean, these afternoon games, you never know what you're going to get.
Dude, these afternoon games they're a beast in their own right.
Yeah.
I hear Nate's a pretty big stick on this place.
Yeah, Nate knows the place pretty well. Same with Jeff. They win pretty one of the two usually wins most of the tournaments they have up there. I think there was a tournament this spring. It was like 90, 93 or 94 won it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I heard the lake's low right now.
Damn it, I just missed him again.
Oh, man.
How am I
Just barely
missing?
getting it, I guess.
Yeah, it's a good fish, too.
Yeah, from what I hear, I never fished there, but from what I hear, there's big fish in there.
Let me get this fish one more try, and I'm going to move on and come back to it.
Is it super hot out there yet?
It's getting there, bro.
Yeah.
It's warming up quick. Oh, he dropped it.
Looked like the fishing was tough up in New York today, judging by the Washington score. Washington, New York.
Yeah. I couldn't believe what the Rebels did to the Renegades on their home.
I know, at home. Crazy. What lake was that on?
I'm not sure, actually. Where are you at?
I'm up on Lake Ontario. We're out here for just a fishing trip. My buddy's getting married. Ryan's getting married, and it was supposed to be kind of like a bachelor party up here, but it's like more of a fishing trip. Yeah, stuffed to the gills. It did look that way. That it was tough for both teams. I got a comment there saying that consensus or what's it called? Canisius was tough for both teams. Fishing was real good this morning up here. We were cracking them this morning, and then the bite kind of died as it got hotter. So now we're just taking a little break and maybe go back out later.
Oh, you headed in?
Yeah, we're at the dock right now. Yeah, a couple people just went down to the beach. I figured I'd hop on the stream and see what was going on. But yeah, I caught some good ones this morning. Caught a 6-pounder and a 5-pounder.
Damn.
A bunch of 4s, couple 3s.
I'd love to catch a smallie like that.
Yeah. Got to get up to the Great Lakes for him to get that size. Well, you guys aren't very far from Erie.
No, we're not. I think the next stop's going to be over there.
So what, are you still stationed up in Connecticut and you just drove down for this game, or are you back home now?
I'm stationed in Virginia, man. I was only in Connecticut.
Oh, you're in Virginia.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were in Connecticut.
I am right now, but just for school.
Oh, okay.
Just for school. That's over at the end of the month, and then I'm headed back down to Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Y'all gonna get off and go get a little lunch?
What's that?
So y'all gonna get off the water and go get some lunch?
Yeah, yep.
Where's the rest of the boys at, man?
I don't know. I sent them the link. I don't know where they're at. Nate said that he was making a move and that the wind noise was bad and he's going to hop back on as soon as he's done making the move. What's the wind like there?
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's not terrible, but probably 10 to 15 sustained.
Yeah. Honestly, we got a pretty good day out here on Ontario. Normally it's real bad up here, but it's only blowing like 10 today, so that's manageable. When it gets over like 15, and that's where it just gets, you can't even get out there. It's like Erie or St. Clair or anywhere else.
I hear out there on them Great Lakes, man, that wind gets up.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in the kayak.
Yeah, our last game on Grand Traverse Bay, that was, I mean, practically on Lake Michigan. The wind was blowing straight down, and it was pretty big out there. There were 3-footers out there. 2.5.
an interesting lake.
Yeah, from what I hear, it's like it's kind of shallow, pretty much all the way across. It doesn't get very deep, except like by the dam. Largemouth and smallmouth.
The deepest I've seen is about 6 feet.
Yeah, I heard it's also down about 2 feet right now. So, but it's a big lake for it to get only that to be that shallow.
It is very big, and it's a 20 horsepower limit on it, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, so you would think you wouldn't get that much boat pressure out there. See if I can get a score update here. We have 58.75 for the Bronzebacks to 16.5 for the Norfolk Privateers. I think it's really just going to come down to whoever gets that bigger bite.
Yeah, I think we got 5 fish, man. My guys don't have any service.
Oh, okay. Do you have any good ones, or are they just like all the same, like 15, 16?
All the same, 15, 16.
Yeah.
I had about a 17 or 18 jump off at the net. I'm talking about head about to go into the net. Swung the bait.
That's the
Fell
worst.
right out on it. That was like my second bite.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, so is this how the day gonna go? And then I missed like 2 fish. And I was like, really? Yeah, we got 78 and a half right now.
You have 78.5?
Yeah. One of the guys who's not fishing.
Oh, okay.
One of the guys who's not fishing is keeping track of our fish.
Okay, we actually just uploaded another fish. We got a 16.25, so we have 75 inches right now.
It's gonna come
For
down. We can
5.
get that big bite.
That's what it's looking like.
The way they're eating it, man, they want the bait painstakingly slow.
Oh.
It's about to be a grinder unless the bite just turns on.
And I mean, it could. I mean, sometimes that 4, 5, 6 o'clock window could start to turn them on.
That's what I'm hoping for. I didn't get any time out here to practice, so
Yeah.
I got here like 8 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, two of our guys did as well. We had two guys that were able to practice a little bit. Like I said, they were catching more of the same, just like those 15, 16-inch class fish. Man, no matter what they call for on this lake, it's always blowing 15 miles an hour.
Oh, that sun is getting high.
It's crazy that you got a smallmouth out of like less than 6 feet of water in the dead of summer like that.
Yeah, I think that other one was a smallie too.
The bigger one?
The other couple that were on that spot.
Yeah.
The wind is dead now.
It all blew up here to New York. So we're coming up on 3 o'clock here, so we have, what, 4 hours? 4 hours and some change left.
Yeah.
Do you have a motor on your kayak or just the pedals?
Yeah, I got a motor on there.
Okay.
NK.
What do you have? Bow mount? Oh, okay. MK. Yep. How fast does that thing push you?
Right around 5.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
That gets it done.
I love it for the end of the days. That's when it's great at the end of the day when you're on your way back.
Yeah, getting back into the ramp, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I put an 1103 on my PA14, and it's great for the river, but I missed that bow mount too much that I used to have with the autopilot with the spot lock and everything. So I ended up putting a bow mount on the front of my PA, and honestly, I get just as fast. I could get up to upwards of 5 if I'm pedaling and have the bow mount going, and like with the 1103, I'll get about 5.7, 5.8.
Yeah, but the torque on that thing is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it'll cut through some weeds, that's for sure.
Yeah, and Newport's about to come out with their 3 horsepower version.
Yeah. Hey, maybe you know how to do this. At 4 o'clock, Greg asked me to add this to the KFL page. He said something about add destination. Do you know anything about that?
I do not. Oh yeah. At the top right where it shows, it's gonna show probably YouTube or whatever. Like it's gonna show you that you're broadcasting on YouTube. If you click that, you can add other places to broadcast.
Okay.
Should be like around the top right.
Oh, okay. I'm on the phone though, so all I see on the top right is the Bronzeback logo. I think if I go to more broadcast info. Oh, select destinations. Okay. Oh, KFL Facebook. I see it. All right, I know how to do it. do you mostly use your pedals throughout the day?
Yeah, I usually only use the motor when I'm making big moves.
Yeah. How long? How good? Like, what's battery life like on it?
Uh, I've never run it dead. I've
Well,
run
that's
it wide
pretty good
open.
then.
I've run it wide open for about 45 minutes before.
Yeah.
I don't have a
Yeah.
I don't have a battery level indicator, so I don't know how much I drained it.
Does it run off like a normal battery, or do you need to run a 24 volt or
It's a 24 volt, 50 amp.
24 volt? Yeah. Yeah. The 1103 gets, I would say, like you could get about, I don't know, maybe an hour full throttle, but most of the time you're just pushing water past like 75% throttle. You don't really gain any speed.
Yep. I usually never run more than 75%
Yep.
unless I'm headed back to the ramp and I'm just like I don't give a shit. I don't care.
Right. I've got all this matted grass in this marina that I'm sitting in here. Kind of want to break out a punching rod or something, but all I have is spinning rods with me.
That'd be interesting to see punch with a spinning rod.
Yeah, well, I've got the drop shot weights for it. I've got ounce and up to, well, I could put 2 on there and drop a 2 ounce drop shot down through there on 10-pound fluorocarbon.
That probably wouldn't go well.
No. See if we have any movement in the score here. Nope. As it remains, you said you had 78.5, so we got 78.5 to 75. So, is your plan going to this? You trying to cover a lot of water, or you just trying to pick stuff apart more so?
My plan is I'm going after the big bite, so I'm
Big
picking shit
bite,
apart.
yeah, yeah,
I'm leaving the limit to the other guys.
yeah. Limit may be all it takes this tournament. I don't know.
So I'm throwing big baits and finessing the shit out of it.
You ever get in any of that glide bait fishing or
Nah,
anything like that, like real big baits?
nah, I never really got into it.
I dabble here and there with it, but I don't know. I feel like it's the type of thing that you can't dabble with. It's either you got to go out with only that or not use them at all.
I'm about to make a big move here though in a second.
Okay. the new board.
Trying to make that move.
It's always the dilemma when it's tough like this. If no one's catching them, you wonder, like, oh, I don't know, am I catching a few? Should I sit here? Or you go for the home run. But when no one else is catching them, it's tough to do that.
Going for it, making that move.
Making the move. We just posted another 14 and a half. So the score right now is 89.5 to, you guys said you had 78.5.
Yep.
89.5 to 78.5. An 11-inch difference there. So any scoreable fish will give you guys back the lead. Got to see those big ones start to come in sometime, right?
Yep.
Looks like Mick is on the smallmouth now. That was a smallmouth he just submitted, 14.5.
Say what?
Mick just submitted a smallmouth, 14.5. That was the one I just gave the update on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you.
All right. I had to put my headphones on. I couldn't hear anything.
They were saying that one that Mick just submitted was a smallmouth, 14 and a half. Seems like the smallies are playing today more than I thought they were going to.
I'm okay with the smallies playing.
Yep.
Of course, I caught that smallmouth in a place I wouldn't expect to see a smallmouth.
Yeah, that's what Mick was saying too. It was like he was catching them in like weird places, like in grass lines and stuff like that.
Yeah, that one came off of wood in about 2 foot of water in
Wow.
dirty water.
Huh. I guess when they have nowhere else to go, they have to be somewhere.
Yeah. Travis said he just lost a 20 plus.
What's that?
I said Travis said he just lost a 20 plus.
Oh man.
And Nate said he lost two big ones and the two big ones wrapped him up.
Oof. Well, maybe it's a sign of things to come. Maybe a bigger bite will start happening. You guys still at 78 and a half?
Yeah, nothing else.
That's tough in these type of grinder tournaments like that where you lose a big one like that. That's tough.
Yeah, it is. But really, from what I hear about smallmouth, you can find a school of them and get one to bite. It's pretty easy to catch more.
Yep. Oh, he said he bust off like a 20 plus inch smallmouth?
No, no.
Oh.
I'm just saying what I've heard about smallmouth.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yep. That's like even this morning out here, like we were into them real fast and it was like in 25 minutes we landed like probably over a dozen fish between the two of us on the boat here. And then just like that, shut off like a light switch. Made your run?
Yeah, I didn't go all the way to where I initially intended on going. I saw some shit, saw some stuff that made me stop.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so guess I'll go over some games today that happened for anyone tuning in to watch. We had the Maniacs and Maulers. The Maulers put a beating down on the Maniacs today, 152.5 to 44.75. We have the Rebels at the Renegades. That was another. Well, I can't say the Maulers was a shocker. I think someone hopped in the stream here. Yep, there's Chris Santor. Let me add him in. What's up, Chris?
What's up?
How's it going out there today, bud?
I can't hear anything. It's windy.
Oh. You want to give a little recap of your day so far? Can't hear me. Anyway, back to the scores. We had the Rebels take down the Renegades 175.5 to 110.5. New York Empire beat the Washington Warhawks 58.75 to 30.75. That was a real barn burner. Delaware Doom took down the Virginia Reapers 121 to 75. Unless that's an afternoon game, but I think that's over.
Yeah, that one's over.
Okay, right now we have the score of our game 89.5 to Norfolk has 78.5, but they don't have service yet. They're showing 16.5, but that's a close. I have an audio issues. Could you guys hear me?
Yeah. Now I can.
I don't know what's going on with my headphones. They stopped working again.
That happened to my AirPods this morning. They just kept disconnecting.
There we go. I think I'm back on. Okay. Where was I? Our game, yeah, 89.5 to 78.5. That's an 11-inch gap there. Indianapolis Knights looks like they took down the Tennessee Shiners, and that's going to be that's looking like that might be it for Tennessee's season. 166.5 to 157.75. That's a tough loss for Tennessee.
I think they still have an outside chance, but it's gonna be
Yeah,
tough. They need some help
that's
from
getting
some other teams.
that's getting more and more tough for them. Deep South Kraken at 112 inches take down the Alabama Hammers with 105.75. Carolina Casters, they put it on the Tar Heel Lunkers today, 174.75 to 115. Coosa Kingfishers get back on track with a 177.75-inch win over the Florida Copperheads, who posted 159.75.
I
Oh
think they
wow,
only
Pal.
I think they
Go
only
ahead.
sent 3 too.
And they only had 3. That's right. Palmetto Punishers put on a show today. 190.75 against the Sunshine State Swamp Donkeys. 135 and a quarter. 190.75 for the Palmetto Punishers. That's a big day. Landing 3 over 20. Motor City Ambassadors, they took the win, much to Pennsylvania's dismay. We really needed them to lose today. 178.5 to 139.25. It's a big win for Motor City going down to Gunnersville and getting the win down there. Oh, look at this. The Natural State Eagles, they look like they got the win. 153.75 to 48.25 over Arkansas. That is a huge win for Natural State. And I think there's one more game. Yep, Louisiana Hurricanes taking out. Oh wow, it's a tie. Oh, is that game still going on? Rob, do you know if that's a night game?
I'm not sure.
It's tied right now, 80.5 apiece. And our top 3 overall individual anglers for the day: Jason Broach with 168.75 inches, Eric Polenz with 168.5, and Chris Catucci with 131.
Some good days right there.
Yep. I just got a message from Jeff Little, Jeff Rabbit. His service is a little spotty, but he said he broke off a good one on a jig earlier today. So that's interesting. He said the water being really low is hurting his bite.
Yeah, it's super low.
Yeah, Chris, you fished there before. What it looks different than the last time you've been there?
Yeah, I would say it's in some places a foot or more shallower than normal.
Wow. Yeah, I heard up to 2 feet.
Yeah, there's a few places where it was because the wind was blowing, it wasn't as bad, but they got blown out because it was so shallow that it was just muck. But I just fished a shoal in the middle of the lake. Normally it's like 5 to 7 feet. It's probably like, I don't know, 2 to 3 right now. Like
Wow.
I hit it when I normally never hit it, but I hit the shoal.
Oh, so it's not normally this shallow.
They're shallow, but normally it's a little bit more manageable.
I'm going to step out for a second. I'll be right back in the stream.
having any luck?
A couple little ones.
Can't believe how shallow the water is.
Yeah, it's shallowest I've ever seen it.
Yeah, I was gonna rent a pontoon boat when I come up in September. And they say, well, call first. They might not even let the boats out on the water if it gets any lower.
Yeah, it's rough. Like normally, I come back and I get to fish all these trees that are in the water. None of them are in the water.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking with the kayaks. It's nice that you can get up in the places you can't get with a boat.
Yeah.
The fish hiding in underneath them trees, like you were saying.
Except none of those trees are in the water right now.
Yeah, I noticed that. Coming out, I kept checking it. We're camping over there. We're coming out. I kept checking how deep the water was, and the deepest it was paddle deep.
Yeah, it's shallow. I've seen a couple pontoons get stuck today.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Yeah, it's water I'm walking on. I'm taking it off. One made it on the other side of the kayak, the other one. Like I am, yeah, I'm shoulder deep right here. Not once you get out a little bit further. Don't stand up. Don't think.
All right, sorry about that brief interruption. I'm back. Let's see if we have a
Apparently,
score. What's that?
apparently my guys' fish are not going to the team. They're just going to their individual.
Okay. Yeah, I see one of them uploaded, 15 and a quarter.
That was me.
Oh, that was you.
Did they uncheck the team box when they did it?
That's what I was thinking.
All right, so right now the score stands at 89.5 to 93.75, assuming no one else on your team caught anymore.
That wind is not playing.
Chris, what boat do you have out there today?
I'm in my New Canoe Unlimited with
Unlimited.
pivot drive,
You got the pivot drive, okay.
functional pivot drive.
Yeah, unlike the Susquehanna tournament.
Yeah. That was user error. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So what do you have so far, Chris? You got one in the boat?
I've caught a bunch of small, like 4 or 5, or 10 to 12, and then a couple that were 13 and a half.
Yeah.
I think where I'm at, the water is just a bit too shallow and dirty. If it was dirty and a little deeper, I'd feel better about it. I mean, most of the stuff that I usually fish up this way, like, I mean, there's a bank that I'm looking at with all sorts of laydowns and stumps. None of them are in the water, which normally I'm able to fish them.
Fish on.
He's
Sounds like.
He's gonna be close.
Think he's gonna go, Chris, or no?
Nah, I think he's gonna be like 13. And a half.
Yeah.
That's been a lot of what I've seen today. I mean, they're not in bad shape, which is nice for the lake. I mean, this guy's been caught before. He's got a couple holes. I mean, I'm just gonna keep running this pattern because that's what's been catching fish. Hopefully, I just run into a couple bigger ones.
Yeah. Is that a largemouth or a smallmouth? I couldn't see.
That's a large.
Okay. I do see some smallmouth playing today, though.
I agree. Normally that shoal I can catch a couple, but it's only in I don't know 3 feet of water. Normally it's in like 6 to 10. So it is not a smallmouth spot.
Yeah, there we go, Rob. Some of your fish are coming in now. 2 15.75s were just posted by Travis. Oh, that's actually a double submission. I don't know why that went through that way. I don't know. We'll get it all sorted out, though, but as of right now, there's a double submission that you guys have.
Sorry about that, man. I keep getting phone calls. They keep kicking me out.
No, that's no problem. I don't know if you heard me earlier, but one of your 15.75s is a double submission.
How did that? Really?
Yeah. I mean, it'll all get taken care of. Just giving you a heads up about it.
No, not that, man. I just broke off on the hook set on one
Oh.
with braided line. Guessing it was a toothy critter.
Could be.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some pickerel and pike in there. Are there muskie in there, Chris?
Yeah, there are.
Well, this fish is top water.
Well, the pickerel will hit top water.
Muskie will hit top water for sure.
Yeah, I've caught a muskie on a buzzbait before.
I know that. I've never caught a
Yeah,
muskie.
when they blow up on it, you're like, well, that's not a smallmouth. Oh boy.
How's it where you are, Nick?
It's pretty good. A little windy, but you know, we caught him pretty good this morning. I think Rob's on him.
Yeah, it pulled off.
Well, yeah, we caught him pretty good this morning, Chris. I got a 6 and a 5-pounder.
That's a good day.
Yeah, I think I had like 24 for my best 5. Oh, Chris is on. There we go. Give him the big screen for a second.
He'll count.
What's that?
He'll count.
He'll count.
Yeah,
All right, there we go, Chris.
he'll measure. He's not big, but he'll help.
Keepers is what we want.
Yeah, can't get a limit without keepers. And you can't catch them all if you don't catch them small.
You're okay. I'll let you go in a second, buddy.
Don't you dare let that fish flop off the board, Chris.
At that kung fu grip. They just swatted him back in the boat.
That usually almost never works.
Listen, you're gonna relax. All right, buddy? You just pooped all over my white crock, man. That
You
smells
tell him. How big was he?
14 and a half. He's huge. But look,
That's a giant
took a dump
for today.
rock.
Oh, that's nice. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great TV right there.
I didn't think it would smell, but it does.
That's because you're wearing Crocs and not cross kicks.
You're probably right. That's why he pooped on him.
Yep. Hey, get this junk out of here.
I've heard good things.
Yeah.
And they have a bottom land pattern.
So with that 14.5, that'll raise our total to 104 inches, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, you'll know shortly because I'm going to upload.
Okay, Travis caught a 17.5. I don't know if that was one of the ones that you had earlier, Rob.
I don't know. I know
So
I've sit
far,
here.
what's that?
I know I've sit here and had 3 fish jump off.
Oof. Seems like they're getting away today.
Oh, that's close to 14 3/4.
Well, the question is it 14 3/4?
Nah, it's short. By like a millimeter.
Well, that just sealed it. We're definitely going to lose by a 1/4 inch then.
No, I'll catch enough.
We're approaching the 4 o'clock hour. It's 3 hours and 7 minutes left remaining in the game. At 4 o'clock, we're going to end up going live on the KFL Facebook page. See if we can start catching some big ones for the Facebook page.
Yeah, I mean, I feel good about as the sun goes down, fish start more active. But I don't know. PA lakes are weird this time of year.
They're all like that.
Yeah, like you can have the most predictable stuff, and they're just not there.
Okay, Pennsylvania just caught a 17-incher. Nate Hall put up a 17. And then Chris, with your 14.5, that brings us to 121 for a total.
Then that 8 fish.
That would be 6, 7, 8. Yes, 8 fish for 121. And Norfolk, you guys right now are showing 80.75, but I know we discussed it, and I think you guys have closer to 94. And that double submission is still in there, though, so we'll have to get that taken care of. But I think at last count, oh, there's Nate. Let me add him to the stream. Hey, Nate.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good. I saw you just put up a 17.
Yeah, I actually caught that while I was trying to pull up the stream.
Oh.
I had my phone in one hand, my rod in the other, and all of a sudden my line started taking off.
Well, there you go. Maybe you should try to hop back out and get back in and see if you can get another fish on.
I was about to say, it sounds like that's the pattern.
All of a sudden, everyone's going to be trying to hop out and hop back in. Want to give a little recap of your day, Nate? How it's going so far?
You talking to me?
Nate, if you're there.
Yeah. It's been a lot tougher than I expected. I came out here a couple weeks ago and found some fish. When I came out here today, the water had dropped just enough to push them out of the area they were in. So they were real shallow. I was catching them about 1.5 feet of water. And it dropped just enough that they're not there anymore. So I'm kind of scrambling, running around, trying to fish some history to see if I can find some more fish.
Yep, and that's not a bad plan to fall back on when you've got history on a lake, but it's tough. I mean, PA all over the state, we're in either really dry or drought conditions. Water's down everywhere. I know the Susquehanna right now, it's even lower than it was at the Hobie tournament. It was crazy low at the Hobie tournament.
I was out on the river this past Sunday, and the same creek that I used to cross an island during the Hobie, where I could easily get out and wade, completely gone.
Yeah, just dry. Yeah. And I saw the Harrisburg gauge was like approaching below 3 feet, which, if anyone knows anything about that, that's low.
Yeah, it's pretty historic.
Yeah. There we go. Now we got the boom box next to me here. Oh, Nate looks like he's on. There we go, Nate. I'll let Nate land this one and then hop over to the Facebook stream. Looks like it might be a better one. Nope. Might measure, though.
You get 10 to win, right?
Gotta get 10. Can't catch them all.
14.25.
There you go. Nope, there goes Nate's phone. Don't drop it in the water. All right, let's add this to the KFL Facebook stream. Save changes. All right, I believe we are live on the KFL Facebook page now. For those of you just joining us, we have the boombox playing in my background, but we've got Nate on a fish here right now. He just caught a 17-incher right before that. those wondering, I'm sitting at a dock on Lake Ontario broadcasting the game, and you hear background music, that's what you've got to put up with it, these public docks. We're back. I'm back in here now. So just a score update. Bronzebacks currently have 135.25, and I think once Norfolk's fish all get sorted out, they will have 93.75. So it's a very close, tight game. Every quarter inch is really mattering right now. Let's take a look at Chris's screen here. We'll go full screen on Chris. He's got a nice shot behind him there. Shows what the lake's doing. Looks like you got some high skies and some wind coming in, Chris. You want to talk about the conditions a little bit today?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a nice, fun kind of wind.
Yeah.
Changed direction now twice. Across the lake, it seems like it's going. I'm on the backside of an island that I thought was going to be protected, but the water is down here for sure. Historically, some of the areas that I'm fishing now are 2 to 3 feet higher than what we're sitting at right now. So a lot of the laydowns that I was planning on targeting are actually fully sticking out of the water. A lot of the stumps that I was thinking about, where I've historically done well, are all not covered by water. So I'm assuming that's pushed fish off the bank a little bit, and they're in those kind of deeper grasslands. But trying to find the specific grass line that they're holding on seems to be the water is not clear at all. So sometimes you get some clarity up here that helps. Today is not mistake. So really just kind of searching right now for some kind of fish.
All right, let's hop over to Rob. Rob, what can you give us a little update on your day? What's going on?
Well, much like what he just said, man. I guess the water's down quite a bit, and the fish that I have been able to find has been when I can find a little bit deeper pads with water, a little bit deeper pads, and yeah,
And now you're
I was
pulling,
just
and you've pulled smallmouth out of those pads, right?
yeah, I pulled smallmouth out of the pad. Completely surprised me.
That's a line you never thought you'd hear before, pulling smallmouth out of the pads.
And then I lost a big one there, and I mean, the story of my day so far has been I haven't fished clean.
Yeah.
In the last 20
Yeah.
minutes, I've lost 3 fish. So
Let's hop over to Nate, see what he's doing. He just seemed like he got on something there pretty good. He had two fish in about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Maybe he's figured something out. See if he can start to get on that bigger bite. Nate, you want to give a little background on this lake? What normally you can expect and what it's normally like?
I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I got
I
boats
was saying
banging
if you
against
want to
rocks
just.
and stuff right now where I can't hear anything.
Oh, okay. Well,
hey,
we'll let him fish.
apparently what we have right now is 121.
Oh, you have 121?
That's what I'm being told.
Okay. And is that with, I assume, 8 fish?
That's subtracting Travis's double submission.
Yeah. So 121, that's probably 8 fish, I would imagine, right?
That's what I would think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a 15-inch average. 121 divided by 7 fish, that would be a 7. Yeah, no, it's definitely 8 fish. I don't know, unless someone put up a giant.
I haven't seen anything in the message group about a giant. I think it's going to come down to who can get that kicker bite.
That's what I'm thinking too. 119, 20-inch kicker could really set a team up good here. Yeah, but conditions they're not ideal right now. Like I was saying, Pennsylvania's in sort of a drought right now, where the water is low at a lot of lakes and especially rivers. And it looks like you're just going to find that clear across the state. We just haven't had rain. Chris looks like he's in hurry up mode somewhere.
Just trying to get out of the freaking wind.
Really hammering down on that pivot drive.
And I got to.
That search is on, looking for that big bite. That's what this game's going to come down to. That's for sure. Chris, you want to give a little rundown of your tactics today that you're using, what you're throwing, what you're trying to target, what you're looking for?
Yeah, I'm actually throwing a technique that you don't really see a lot of people doing up here. I'm throwing a speed worm.
Oh, you're throwing a speed worm. Okay.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
So I'm trying to find the deeper grass, run it along the edges and through it.
You're going all Florida on them.
Yeah, I mean the grass that I'm finding is super thick and matted. It's just below the surface. So
Yeah.
So
are you waiting? Are you putting a weight on it, or are you just weightless?
I have an 1/8 ounce tungsten on it.
Okay. Do you peg that tungsten, or do you not peg it when you're on a speed worm? I would think you peg it, right?
Yeah, I peg it.
Yeah.
And I've been catching fish, which is why I haven't been quality.
Let's take a look at Nate, see what he's doing. I know he's having some audio issues, but we'll just check out what's going on there.
Yeah, right now I found some grass that I'm just really slowly working my way through, trying to pick off as many fish as I can.
Yeah.
Just because this lake overall has a lot less grass in it than it has the last couple of years, so I think these fish are a little more concentrated. So
yeah.
I think it's just a matter of figuring out where they are in that grass and utilizing that. And so far, it hasn't gone well for me today. So.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Could happen at any second. You could stumble into them. For those watching on Facebook, I did a little rundown earlier, but I'm going to do another rundown of the scores for the day. We have the Maulers beat the Maniacs 152.5 to 44 3/4. That was a big win for the Maulers. They definitely needed that one. The Rebels took out the Renegades on the road. They took them out 175.5 to 110.5. That was another big win for the Rebels. They really turned their season around the last 2 weeks. New York Empire squeaked out a win over Washington, 58 3/4 to 30 3/4. Looks like Canisius was not fishing that great today. I wonder if their grass bite was suffering up there with this heat.
Yeah,
the Delaware Doom took out. What's that, Chris?
When you're up there with that sun like we have today, I think that's part of what's going on down here too. It's just there's just nowhere to go.
Especially sun, and sometimes that wind kind of messes up the grass bite. Like if they're like tucked deep in the grass. I don't know. I've noticed that like on high sun days where like you got some wind, it's not always conducive to very good fishing.
Yeah.
Cloudy and windy. That's one thing. But yeah, so then the Delaware Doom beat the Virginia Reapers 121 to 75. Delaware Doom picked up their second win in a row at home. They've got a nice home field advantage there. I don't know which particular body of water they fished this game, but looks like they were able to get it done at home. So right now the score of our game, the Privateers at Bronzebacks, is 135.25 to 80 3/4. But I think, according to Rob, they actually have 121 once their fish all get sorted out. They're having some they're having some service issues and also fish submission issues. So I think that's 135.25 to 121. The Indianapolis Knights took out the Tennessee Shiners and really put a dent in the Shiners' playoff hope. Score of that game was 166.5 to 157.75. The Shiners really could not afford to drop that game. That's going to be tough for them to recover from. And that was a big win for Indy in the standings and the playoff picture at large. The Alabama Hammers lost to the Deep South Kraken 112 to 105.75. The Kraken were able to take the win at home, and that's a good win. Any win this time of year is a huge win, and that's a good win for the Kraken. The Carolina Casters beat the Tar Heel Lunkers 184 to 164.5. I remember that score being higher. I think something changed in their standings. I thought they were at 190 earlier. Maybe. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was a different game. Yeah, so big win for the Casters against the Tar Heel Lunkers. Little rivalry there, Carolina rivalry. Coosa Kingfishers beat the Florida Copperheads 177.75 to 159.75. The Copperheads dropped a game at home, and that's not looking great for their playoff hopes right there. They needed that one, but the Coosa Kingfishers were able to bounce back after their first loss of the season last week, and I think they only brought 3 guys to that game, so that's a big win for Coosa. The Palmetto Punishers put it on the Swamp Donkeys today, 190.75 to 135.25. They had 3 fish over 20 inches, the Punishers, and their lunker being 21.5. Yeah, so that was a good win for the Punishers. Really stacked up those inches there. Motor City Ambassadors went down to the Southern Slayers and beat them on Gunnersville 178.5 to 139.25. That's a huge win for Motor City for playoff positioning, and they bounced back after the loss to the Bronzebacks last week. That's a big road win for them. I know those guys were talking about traveling down there, and they really wanted to come out with a win after a long drive, and looks like they were able to do that. The Natural State Eagles beat the Arkansas Hogs 153.75 to 48.25. Don't look now, but the Eagles, they're fishing good. That's 3 wins in a row for them. First 3 as a franchise, and they're here to stay. I mean, they're the real deal. Taking out the Hogs, that's not a great loss for the Hogs, but I mean, they can afford it, but not really. No one really could afford losses at this time of the season, but Natural State Eagles, they're trying to keep those playoff hopes alive. Turn around the record that they took on. That's a big win for the Eagles. And then the last game, the Oklahoma Outlaws and Louisiana Hurricanes. I think that may be an afternoon game because the score is 80.5 to 63.75, but I'm not sure if that's actually an afternoon game or not. I think it is though. But yeah, Oklahoma is looking to take the win over Louisiana at home and see if they could get a good late season win. Top 3 players for this week in terms of scoring, we had Jason Broach at 168.75, Eric Polenz at 168.5, and Chris Catucci from the Rebels putting up 131. Looks like he did a lot of work for the Rebels today. But yeah, that's where the games landed today, and there were a lot of shakeup. So we'll see how it affects the playoff standings. Anything that you're seeing, Nate, that's trying to clue you into what these fish are doing?
Not quite. I just caught 2 real quick there a few minutes ago, but then it just died right after that, so not really sure. I'm guessing that they're coming through in packs, and if you put your bait in front of a couple of them, they're going to catch them. But if you don't, then you're going to be spending a lot of time with nothing.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you get on them. Chris looks like he's dealing with a little bit of a backlash issue there.
Yeah, throwing a weightless worm on a baitcaster is sometimes not the best.
Got to get that BFS gear.
Yeah, we'll see.
I know. I think you're a Daiwa guy, right?
Yeah, they have a couple JDM BFS reels.
Yeah. Nate, what kind of gear do you throw? Rods, reels?
I use Castaway rods.
Okay.
They have a couple different lineups. I use all of them. And then I typically use 13 fishing reels.
Okay. How do you like the 13 fishing reels? Obviously, you like them, you use them, but is there a reason you go for those over some other brands? We're coming up on 4:30 here. It's 4:21, so what's that? A little over 2.5 hours left in the game. Nate, do you typically see that the bite later in the day gets better on this lake, or is it mostly a morning bite, or could there be a good evening bite?
I believe it should pick up. Typically the morning bite's on, and then usually midday is pretty slow, and then it usually does pick up for those last few hours of the day. So
Okay,
I'm thinking it should start getting better here, but we'll see.
We will see. World's upside down up there. Rob Brown was catching smallmouth, flipping lily pads. We're going to take a quick second here and run a commercial break. And that commercial break was brought to you by Three Bells Outfitters. Check them out for all of your kayak outfitting needs. It's a great shop, and they're a great supporter of the KFL. Got a comment there from Aaron Proper that said, "What's up, Robert and Nate?" I don't think Rob's in the stream anymore, but see if he hops back on. What's up, Aaron? Thanks for watching. See if we we have any movement on the scoreboard. Doesn't appear that we do. Right now, the big fish in this match for Pennsylvania is that 17 that was recently caught by Nate. And the big fish for Norfolk was a 17.5 caught by Travis Belcher. Just waiting for that kicker bite. It's going to come. Has to, right? Right, Chris?
I mean, somebody's going to be on one.
Someone's going to catch a 20. It has to.
There's good fish in here. I mean,
yeah.
If you look at the biologist reports, if you look at other tournaments that are here, there's decent fish.
And the unique thing about this lake, right, is that it's a 20 horsepower restriction. So you don't get the big boat pressure that you get on a lot of bigger reservoirs of that size. Because that's a pretty decent sized lake. It's not a small lake.
No, it's
Do you know how many acres it is off the top of your head?
I don't.
I think it's over. I think it's got to be pushing 10,000. I would think, right?
I mean, it's bigger than Nakamixon, and Nakamixon has the same horsepower limit.
It's bigger than Nakamixon. What about the pack? Is it bigger than the pack?
No.
For those of you guys, the pack is Long Paul Pack in Pennsylvania. It's a good lake in the spring, really tough to fish in the summer.
Might be similar.
Yeah. Ask EKF about how tough that lake is to fish in the summer.
Oh, I'm getting Charlie horses left.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to paddle the rest of the day, probably.
And for those of you watching, wondering where I am on some marina in Lake Ontario, sitting in a boat here, broadcasting a game from a marina. We're up on Lake Ontario, just fun fishing. And if you're wondering why I'm just sitting here in a marina in a boat, that would be why. Still no movement on the scoreboard. See what the big fish was for the day. Big fish in the Rhode Island game was 19 3/4. In the Empire game, it was 16 inches. In the Doom game, 16 3/4. Yeah, those big fish are not biting great today. 17.5 in our game. 18.5 in the Indianapolis game. 20 1/4 for the Deep South Kraken. 20.5 for the Carolina Casters. I think 21.5. Palmetto Punishers put up a 21.5. Who caught that? Barry Davis of the Palmetto Punishers caught a 21.5 today. That's the biggest I've seen logged so far. Southern Slayers put up a 22.5. Kevin Fox of the Southern Slayers put up a 22.5. I believe that was on Gunnersville. That's a big one. Yep, 22.5 looked to be the biggest bass caught today.
Let's see if we can get it. PA.
What's that?
Let's see if we can get a 20 in PA.
Oh, 22.5. You could do that in PA. There's 22.5 somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't know where they are. Nate, what's the biggest fish you ever caught out of that lake that you're on right now?
Biggest one I put out of this lake was 20.5. I actually caught earlier this year.
Oh, really? I would have expected like a 21 out of there.
There's not a whole lot of real big ones in here. There are some, but there's a decent number of like 4 to 5 pounders in that 19 to 20 inch range.
Mm-hmm.
There aren't a whole lot of fish much bigger than that.
What's the biggest largemouth you ever caught in Pennsylvania?
I caught a 7.5 this spring, actually, out of my home lake, Lake Arthur, over about an hour south of here.
You get a measurement on it?
What?
Did you get a measurement on it lengthwise?
I did not. I did not have my board with me because I was just out there for fun fishing. And so I didn't take my board with me, but it was probably about 22 or so. It was right before the spawn, so she was all fattened up with eggs and everything, which added some weight to her.
Chris, how about you? What's your best largemouth you ever caught in PA?
I think it's 21 3/4.
Okay, that's cool. Where was that out of?
That's classified.
Oh, okay, little honey hole spot.
Mick knows it very well. So does Mark.
Oh, yeah, I know it as well.
Yeah, now you will know what it is, where it's at.
Yeah, I know where it's at. There are some tanks in there. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah,
I think
21
Mick caught
and 21 quarter the day.
Mick caught a 20.
2 days later.
Mick caught a 23 3/4 out of there.
Oh yeah. I caught
giant.
3 over 21 in the same week. One was in North Carolina.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, my biggest largemouth in Pennsylvania came from Lackawanna State Park. Actually, there was that Slay Nation tournament there today. Mine was 22 1/4, and it weighed 7 pounds 1 ounce. I actually am curious to see what happened in that Slay Nation tournament. I'm going to pull up the standings for that really quickly at Lackawanna State Park. Chris, you fished at Lackawanna before, right?
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see if anyone pulled a big one out of there because there are some really big fish in that lake. It doesn't fish very good, but there are some absolute giants in there. For northern fish.
It's not conducive to fishing fish, but they're good ones. This is fun.
Not great. No, nothing good happened at Lackawanna State Park today. 72.75 inches won, and the biggest fish caught the entire day, Chris, was 15 3/4. Not ideal. That doesn't do that lake justice, though. There are tanks in there.
Who won? Do we know?
What's that?
Who won? Do we know that?
Who won? Nicholas Vincent from PA won with 72 3/4 inches. Jacob Stem finished second. That'll help him in the AOY for that circuit. Man, that's a tough showing at Lackawanna today. got some wind noise there, so I'm going to mute him for a second. Nate, if you catch a fish, just like raise your hand or something, because I'm going to put you on mute there because your wind noise is kind of bad. I guess I could turn this way and get the camera out of the sun for a second, but I've been frying in this sun all day. Put Chris up on the big screen, see what he's up to. Still throwing that speed worm, Chris?
Yeah, I've been switching it up, but I just found some really thick stuff, so I just missed 2 fish on it. Just when I get hung up, I'm just trying to slow it down as soon as I get hung up, and that's when I've been getting bit, but
So, Chris, given your preference, would you rather target smallmouth or largemouth?
during the summertime, I'd like to target smallmouth, but with the way the depth is here, right now, and how shallow stuff is, it's just my normal history stuff just isn't there. This is fun. This is real fun.
You got one?
No, I missed it.
Wow.
Getting stuck on everything. They're swirling on it real good. They're just not eating it. I might downsize my worm. I don't know. We'll see.
And I know Nate is on mute, but we're going to put him on full screen just to see what he's doing. Let's see if his wind noise improved any. Yeah, it's not as bad. See if I can get the Fishing Chaos standings in here. Show off some of these fish that got caught today.
feet. Bring it back.
Thank you. Oh, I messed something up here. No updates to the score in a while here. It still remains 135.25 to 80.75. But as I mentioned earlier, I believe Norfolk has 121 as it stood when Rob was on the stream. So that would be a 14 and a quarter inch difference between these two teams. So I think that this is really just going to come down, like we were saying earlier, just down to one kicker fish. That's really what it's looking like it's going to boil down to. Assuming both teams get a limit, but I think they probably will. .445. We're coming up on 2 hours and 15 minutes remaining in the game. Starting to get down to crunch time. Nate, you want to give a little rundown of what you're throwing or generally what you're doing?
Yeah, so right now I'm looking at my graph a lot. I'm looking for grass. One of the things about this lake is most of the banks are very, very shallow and take a long time to drop off. So I'm probably about 200 yards from the bank right now, and I'm only in 4 foot of water. But most of the grass that I've seen today has been in 1.5 foot or 2 foot. So I found some deeper grass out here in 4 to 5 foot. So just taking my time, fishing with a little worm, and just trying to pick it apart and figure out if the fish are out here or if they're still sticking up shallow.
Okay. Just really grinding it out though, just like fishing slow.
Yep. Never really done well on this lake fishing very fast, so usually end up having to do it slow. But once you find them, you find them. For example, we have our big local tournament out here in June. These are on mid-June, and we usually have 100 anglers or so. And coming up on 1 o'clock in that event with an hour left, I only had 2 fish. But in that last hour, I caught probably close to 20 to 25 fish, 3 of them being over 17, which pushed me all the way up into 5th place for the event. So it can definitely happen in a hurry out here if you can find them.
Yeah. And that's what it seemed like when I was talking to Rob earlier when he caught that smallmouth. He broke a couple off, but it seemed like he got on a flurry of them very quickly there.
Yeah, they definitely broke out here, which is great if you find, but it's absolutely brutal if you can't.
Yeah. Do smallmouth or largemouth typically win tournaments up there? Or mixed bags?
Both the largemouth and smallmouth group up. This year I've caught more smallmouth up shallow on this lake than I ever have before.
Yeah, that seems to be the prevailing
I know a couple guys that
pattern
come out here and
game. Sorry, I didn't catch that.
So I know a couple guys that go down to the far end of the lake near the dam and can get out there on some rock piles and catch some smallmouth, but I've actually caught quite a few up in next to no water, up mixed in with the largemouth.
Yeah, so that's what Rob was saying too. Mick was alluding to that.
I do definitely think that if you can find an area that's got both, you're probably in an area that's got a lot of fish. So
yeah,
it's definitely a good sign if you do start catching both of them.
I always think lakes like that are very unique when you can catch largemouth and smallmouth on the same cast, fish in the same water. It's always cool to me.
Yep.
Let's go ahead here and play another commercial from Three Bells Outfitters, our premier sponsor of the KF.
Hey guys, Tyler here with the New York Empire. Just out getting my Feel Free kayak ready for the upcoming 2022 KFL season with a little help from Three Bells Outfitters. From my Yak Attack gear to the catchboard accessories to the Dakota lithium batteries that power my bow mount and electronics, all of it comes from Three Bells. From bow to stern, they got you covered.
No, this is a word from Tyler Sweet. I know he's with Three Bells Outfitters, and obviously Three Bells is a big supporter of the KFL. You get all of your kayak fishing related accessories and boat rigged out at Three Bells. It's definitely a great place to go. We appreciate their support of the league, and I mean it's really invaluable. Hey, you want to talk us through your boat setup? What boat are you in? What motor do you run? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I use a New Canoe Pursuit with a Motor Guide XI3 with the spot lock on the front. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I use a Lowrance fish finder maybe 10% of the time I'm not on the water, but for the most part, I don't even take it out with me. Today I haven't just because I knew that it was going to be a little bit more difficult finding grass out here today. And that's about it.
Yeah, that XI3 really gets the job done. I'm a big fan of my XI3 that I have on the front of my boat. So much so that I couldn't go without that spot lock capability that it has, and it really, honestly, it's a pretty powerful motor for the kayak. It probably pushes that boat that you have along pretty good there. I mean, I know I get close to 4.5 miles an hour out of the PA14. You got to be getting up there too in your new canoe.
Yeah, I feel like the spot lock's one of those things that once you have it, you can't go back to not having it again.
Right.
It
And
just
like I
becomes
was
such a big
talking
part of your fishing.
Yeah, and I was talking to Rob about it. I initially just wanted to run the Torpedo on my Hobie, and I mean the Torpedo is a great motor, and it's unbelievable for the rivers. Honestly, you can't beat it for the rivers. But when you're on the lakes, man, I couldn't go without that spot lock and that bow steering capabilities. It's just it turns the kayak into a mini bass boat, really.
Yeah.
Can't go without it. What kind of battery do you run with yours?
What was that?
What kind of battery do you run with your bow mount?
For my battery, I use it's a VMAX Tanks, just 100 amp hour lithium battery.
Okay, yeah.
12 volt, just nice and simple.
Yep.
And then I have a Dakota lithium 23 amp hour battery for my fish finder.
Yeah, those Dakota lithium batteries, I'm a big fan. I have that. I run the 135 amp hour on my XI3, and I ran 15 miles pretty much full speed at Grand Traverse last week when we were out there playing Michigan, and I didn't even come close to killing it. It's unbelievable how much range you get out of those motors, out of those batteries. But my phone is almost dying here, Nate, so I'm going to hop off the stream for a little bit. Feel free to stay on, and I'll be back on in the last hour of the stream to call the last hour. So I got about 10 minutes of battery left here, and then I'm going to have to hop off and get a charge, but I'll hang in there until it gives out. Let's see if we have any scoreboard update here. Yep, we did catch another one. Who was that? Mick Wood caught a 16.5 incher. That's a big fish for us. That brings our total to 151.75. So that brings the Bronzebacks to a limit now with 151.75. It's all about those upgrades now. That one that Mick just submitted, Nate, was a smallmouth, 16.5. So maybe he's he's on a little wolf pack of them.
What up? Finally back in the area where I got service. Can you hear me? If not.
What's up, Rob?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you. Sorry, I was in
Oh, okay.
backstage for a second. Any update from your guys on what you have?
I ain't heard shit from them. I think now they're completely out of service.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right
Last I
now it's
heard we had
staying.
last I
Go
heard
ahead.
we had 8 fish.
8 fish. Okay. Yeah, I think it was. Right now we have 151 and 3/4, and you guys have 80.75. But I think you have closer to 121 was what I heard you had with 8 fish. Or wait, let me see. Is that right? 121 divided by 8. Yeah.
I think that was okay. The bite for me has completely died.
All right, guys, I'm gonna hop off the stream for a second. I got to get back. We're gonna start running again here. I'll hop back on in like the last hour to check up with you guys.
Cool.
All right. Good luck. Be safe.
You too, man. That's just awesome. Damn nylon rope wrapped around my shit. Hey, another smallie. And by smallie, he's a smallmouth that's a tiny smallmouth. Stank. shit. Oh, hell yeah. Woo! Shit. That's one off the bucket list. A muskie? I don't know how I didn't lose this fish. Yes, please.